Talking to people, whether it's a stranger at a party, someone you admire, or your boss, isn't a skill that is reserved only for extroverted people. And I know that because I went from being the shyest person in the room, the one who wouldn't really want to talk to people, who would be scared of making phone calls, to public speaking at a YouTube event and actually enjoying it. Now I'm the type of person who will just go up to people I don't know yet and just introduce myself and talk to them, and usually we always become friends, we make a connection and we enjoy the time. If I did it, you can do it too. In this video you will learn how to speak like a pro and get the attention you deserve. Hello, I'm Maria. I make content to help all the girlies become their best self and change their life. So if that is something you're interested in, make sure to subscribe. I know this is about speaking, but let's stop yapping and let's get into the video. In order to keep this video structured, I have come up with two main categories. One is talking in social scenarios and one is talking for business. Business would mean work, studies, negotiating. There will be some darker, more tricky pieces of advice in the business section. Obviously, you can use all advice across any type of situation. Just use whatever works best for the situation, whatever you feel comfortable with. Because especially in conversations, when it comes to people, there is no black and white. You need to adapt to situations and see what fits best. If it is hard for you to get out of your own head and be convinced that people don't care as much as you think they do during conversations, here's the most important thing you can do right now. Focus on them. People want to be heard. People love to be seen. People want to know that the person they're talking to is actually fully listening to their story, is really interested in what they have to say, and fully understands them on an emotional level. And this is really easy to do. Obviously, don't fake it, but just shift all your focus on the people. Don't think about how you are looking in this moment, if you are making a weird sound or you're laughing in a weird way. Focus on what they have to say. Fully understand. Ask questions. Engage with them. Look them in the eyes while they're speaking. Ask people questions about themselves, because people usually like to talk about themselves, especially if they feel heard. Instead of sitting there and thinking, oh, I don't know what to say. This is so weird. Why can't I come up with a topic? Just think about, what did the person across from you just say? If they just said, hello, my name is I don't know what and I work in advertising. Okay, ask them, how did you get into your line of work? Do you like your line of work? What is the thing you like most about your line of work? These are basic questions. These are questions you can ask about literally any topic at any stage of getting to know someone. Use the most minimal amount of information that you have about someone. Use anything that you might have in common in order to ask them a question about themselves and their life. If you are together at an event, then ask them, how did you find out about this event? Is it your first time coming here? How do you like it so far? Do you have recommendations for me to which activities to check out, or what is the most interesting part about this event? Be genuinely interested. Ask questions. Be curious. Be present. Don't be in your head. And whenever someone says something, acknowledge it. Like, nod, say, yeah, I agree, or say, no, I don't agree. You are totally allowed to have your own opinion, but just make sure that you're listening to the person and then you say your opinion regarding the thing that they just said. Great conversations happen when people are truly listening to one another, when none of them are in their head thinking about something else. Great conversations that make both people feel heard, make people feel good. And then people will also remember you. They will remember the conversation that they had with you as something really pleasant. And even if there might have been some awkward moments in there, you might have made a joke that just wasn't funny, or you made a pig sound when you were laughing, it doesn't matter. As long as the conversation was engaging and you showed your interest for that person, they will remember you as someone they can talk to. The thing that has really helped me be comfortable when talking to people is just keeping in mind that no one cares. I don't know why, but the world doesn't revolve around me. I'm not the center of the universe. People do not care. And that is something I always keep in mind when I'm talking to people. When I used to be really shy and overthink every single social interaction that I had, I would always be so in my head about what I had just said. I was always thinking that the tone of something was weird, that a comment that I made maybe was weird, that my laugh maybe sounded weird. And then I would feel really uncomfortable because I was so so focused on myself and I was so focused on how I appear to other people with the things that I'm saying. I was filtering everything that I was saying through this filter of, am I being weird right now? Did they take it wrong? All of that. It is exhausting and it held me back from actually connecting with people. And the thing that I now always keep in mind is that people don't care because they're probably so focused on how they are appearing to you, or they are too focused on the conversation you're having. You have probably laid awake one night thinking about some random embarrassing thing that you did during that day or that you did a while ago. I think that has happened to all of us. However, I have never laid awake thinking about something awkward that someone else did. Awkward things happen all the time to everyone, but it genuinely doesn't matter. People don't remember the awkward things that you did. You remember them. And you latch onto them even though no one else remembers, no one cares. Stupid things happen all the time. They might be funny, they might not be funny. They might be awkward. Okay, so what? We're all human. You always need a strong start. If you're walking into a room, doesn't matter if it's a party, if it's a classroom, if it's a meeting, enter the room with confidence. Don't check your phone while entering the room in order to appear busy. The way you present yourself often sets the tone for conversations. You can genuinely have so much to say, be a really emotionally intelligent person, but if you are walking into a room hunched over, afraid of being seen, looking at your phone, not wanting to make eye contact with anyone, it doesn't matter because people are gonna assume you don't want to talk to them, that you're too shy to talk, or that you might not have anything to share. Those are false assumptions, but that's what they get from looking at you if you're afraid of being seen. So walk straight, look people in the eye, greet them if it's a smaller room and everyone looks at you when you're walking in, even if people don't look at you. Maybe greet the whole room if it's a situation where you should greet people. Absolutely no phone. Like, I don't care. Don't try to make yourself look busy because honestly, and this is so ridiculous, oftentimes when I see someone on their phone trying to look busy, especially in social situations, I just know they're not busy. The people that I know that are really successful, they're just busy people who get contacted a lot. Those are the people who will probably check their messages but not be on their phone the entire time. And the people who are genuinely just scrolling on Instagram are sometimes the ones who just spend all of their time looking down at a phone trying to appear busy. It's not cute, it's not giving off a good impression, it just shows that they're probably not comfortable in the situation. Confidence is 80% body language because people read you. They read you when you walk into a room and they read you before you start talking. So make sure that your body language is confident, is open, is very secure. Don't try to impress people. Oftentimes, people who are trying so hard to leave a good impression are just exhausting. It's just not fun to have a conversation with them because they're always trying to list their achievements as if they're giving you a verbal copy of their CV. That's not what you want to have in a conversation. You want to connect with someone for the fact that they are human and they have emotions and they have a backstory, they have something to talk about. Trying really hard to impress people with things that are not relevant at all to the discussion makes a really bad conversation. It is something I genuinely just want to walk away from immediately. Keep in mind that the people who are usually talking about how much money they have and how famous they are and how happy they are with their life and all of the good things that they have in their life and they're bragging about it, usually those are the people who are overcompensating for something. And that something is usually insecurity, or they actually don't have all of the things that they say they do. So keep that in mind and don't be easily impressed by people who are bragging. One very subtle thing that shows that you are not comfortable in a conversation is over-explaining. This is especially important in meetings, in work situations, also university if you're having discussions or if you are presenting a paper or anything like that. Say what you have to say as concise as possible. You don't need to explain the reason for why you said something if that doesn't contribute to the topic in any way, shape, or form. If you're in a meeting with multiple people and you want to present your idea, don't say like, oh yeah, I think I saw this and it might be a good idea, but I'm so sorry if it isn't a good idea and this is... No! Say, in my opinion, we should do this. Stop talking, wait for the responses, then you can come up with arguments. Especially in workplaces, there are people that just respect concise communication. These are oftentimes also the people who are higher up, who just have a busy schedule, who just don't have the time for it. They don't want to know reasons and arguments and blah, blah, blah. They want to know what the idea is. They want to know what the problem is. They just want one sentence. Also, if you keep things short, it gives people less opportunity to cut you off. And that is important. Silence isn't the enemy. People often see silence as something really awkward. But think about it. You can sit in silence with your family and it's not awkward. But if you sit in silence with a stranger, it suddenly feels awkward and you're suddenly scrambling to find your words and to find a good question and to find a common topic. The problem is not the silence, the problem is the reaction to it. And when you see that silence is not a big deal, you can use it to your advantage. Because most people panic when there is a pause in the conversation and they just start rambling. Don't do that. Just sit back, relax, get comfortable with the pause. Pauses are a natural part of any conversation. Whatever you do, please stay calm. Don't freak out when there is a pause. Don't freak out when there is silence. It is fine. Use that to your advantage to refocus, gather your thoughts, think about all of the things that you want to say. Also, big sister advice. This is a very commonly used negotiation tactic where someone says something and then they pause. And then if you are not very comfortable with the conversation, you will be scrambling to find your words, to fill the silence, and you might agree to things you don't want to agree to. Don't do that. If someone gives you silence, take it. Wait for them to say something else, or maybe start a conversation and move it into another direction. But don't let yourself be manipulated and lose this negotiation due to the fact that you're just not comfortable with shutting up for a second. This is one of the best negotiation advice I have ever gotten, and that is don't enter a negotiation if you're not willing to lose. If you want to start social media, for example, you will have people reach out to you in order to promote their products. And sometimes the offer will be fair, sometimes the offer is just way too low. If I am negotiating something and I am asking for at least a fair compensation for my work, I am willing to walk away from that. If someone is lowballing you, doesn't matter what it is with, it can be a salary, it can be like a Facebook marketplace deal, whatever it is, enter the negotiation with them. Tell them what you normally charge for the service that you're offering or the product that you're selling. Tell them maybe what are the pros of working with you. But if they are not willing to meet that, walk away. Don't let yourself again be manipulated into accepting something you're not good with. If you are waiting for some big life-changing opportunity in order to finally work on your conversation skills, just don't. Literally try from today, from the second you see this video, to talk to people. You can practice this on a daily basis. If you're ordering a coffee, ask the person how their day is going. Ask them about the different coffee types they sell in the coffee shop. You can make conversation about so many things. People usually enjoy it. Practice this skill because this is a skill that you can learn. And it's not hard to learn, but you need to practice it. I will stop yapping and you need to start yapping. I'll see you in my next video.